from the fact that it was the single most unconvincing 4-0 win I have ever seen in my life. It's one of those things where, like, you look at the score, right? You look at the score, you go on FOTMob and you look at the player ratings and you look at stats. Even the stats don't really flatter Australia, to be honest. Like, I think Indonesia maybe outpassed Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Or it would have been close regardless. Okay, it was 350 passes to 349 accurate passes. 51% possession to 49% possession. It was the worst 4-0 win I've ever seen. Right? And I'm not exaggerating, glorifying whatever. It was appalling. Like, there is something about this team that is incapable of doing just the simplest of things, right? We verse the winner of Saudi Arabia we verse the winner of Saudi Arabia and Korea in the next round. We play like we played on the weekend we play like we played last night against them. We lose comfortably, right? Because it wasn't the difference between this game and the previous games, and what it was really drastic to me was, in the games in the group stage, we were dominating the game. Dominated India, dominated Syria, and dominated for the most part Uzbekistan. But we just couldn't. There was nothing exciting going forward, right? There was nothing going forward. No way of breaking down a below block, whatever. And the way that I would rationalize that in my mind is like, okay, we're versing India, Syria, and Uzbekistan. 3 teams who were better than, comfortably better than, and who approach the game knowing that we are better than them. So they're going to sit back tight and be compact. As are teams like we verse in the competition, they're going to set up the same. When we verse a team like Korea, like Japan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, even like a team like a UAE or a Qatar, should be versed in however it falls, we know that the foot's going to be on the opposite. The shoe's going to be on the opposite foot. They're going to be the ones dominating possession, and we're going to be sitting in a relatively low block, relatively compact, and trying to hit teams on the counter, right? And if that fails, or if it goes the opposite way, and we're the team that is better in terms of possession and dominating the ball, teams like Korea and Japan are going to want to press us. They're going to want to open up space to try and go punch for punch, and there's going to be gaps where we can exploit. The difference is, with this game against Indonesia, there was no way, like, there was the inability to complete 5-yard passes, the inability to complete any patterns of play that would create a half, like, goal scoring opportunity. There was no, it was bad. Like, it was concerning. And I don't say this because I want fucking clickbait or I want to sound different. I want Australia to succeed more than anyone. I fucking cried on this podcast because of my love for this country, right? And this country's given me the happiest moment of my life, bar none, when Matt Leckie scored against Denmark. But there is something lacking in this team, like something seriously wrong with this team, and I really don't think it's got to do with the personnel. I do not think it has anything to do with the personnel, because players like Riley McGree is a really good footballer, technically gifted, unable to complete 5-yard passes. Geordie Boss was okay, but once again, why is he played out on the left wing when he's a left back? I don't get it. Like, people like Irvine is a really solid midfielder, but apart from his goals, has been below par this tournament, right? Mitchell Duke, we saw what he was able to do at the World Cup when he's played so far in this tournament. He's been average. Bruno had no service on the weekend. He was okay-ish, kind of. Like, the really good players and players that are capable of playing at a world-class level to a certain extent are playing badly this tournament, like really below par. I couldn't tell you who our best player this tournament has been. I really couldn't. And yeah, I know we've won 4-0 on the weekend and we're going through to the quarterfinals of a tournament, great. But the way in which we've done it has been so unconvincing and has been so just below par and below standard, to the point where people will look at the score. Got through unscathed in the group stage, didn't lose a game, top of our group, terrific. We won 4-0 in the round of 16 of an international competition, great. We had 2 shots up until 2-0. We had 2 shots up until 2-0. We did not have a shot in the first half. Like, that is unacceptable. I don't care about the scoreline, because eventually it will catch up to you. It is unsustainable the way that we are playing, and I really fear that if Korea or Saudi Arabia get a little bit of confidence and they start the game well, it could end badly. It could end it could end really badly. And that is my biggest fear, because I still think that at our best, we can go punch for punch. At our best, we can go punch for punch, right? Is it? Yeah, it's Korea or Saudi Arabia. I'm not going insane. But at our best, we can so easily go punch for punch with both Korea and Saudi Arabia, right? Because we've shown that at our best, we are capable of playing at a really good level. But our best is so few and far between. Our best is so inconsistent. And our worst is bad. It's really, really, really bad. There is no consistency in this team. And that is what scares me. That is what scares me. Because we could rock up and play Saudi Arabia or Korea and play out of our skins and win the game. And then we could verse Iraq in the semi-final, then lose. Because there's no fluidity. There's no consistency. There's no way of properly seeing how a game will pan out. There's no way of predicting anything to do with this team. It is... Yeah, is this a rant? It's turning into a rant, and it just is a rant, because I just don't know. I don't know, because am I afraid? I think I am, of the potential of what could happen if we don't decide to rock up, and the backlash and the ignorance, because we should be able to go far in this tournament. We should make the semi-finals minimum of this tournament, in my opinion. We are, in my opinion, the equal fourth best team in Asia, or we are equal top four best teams in Asia, right? So we have to make at least the semis. But the way that we're performing doesn't constitute anything close to a semi-final performance, regardless of the results. So I really don't want another international tournament to go to waste, because I feel like we've already wasted it to a certain extent, not calling up Qual, Irukunda, Robertson, Sakati, players like that. I feel like we've wasted it to a certain extent, and I fear that a wasted tournament here could lead to a wasted tournament in 2026. And I think 2026 is our best chance of doing something half decent at a World Cup. So I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what happens from here. I'm recording this on a Monday afternoon, so I don't know if we're going to verse Saudi Arabia or South Korea. I would pray to God that it's... I mean, it's pick your poison, right? I mean, we've seen Tajikistan knocked out the UAE, which is a big upset. They're through to their quarterfinals. And should we get through to the semi-finals versus either Iraq, Jordan, or Tajikistan, you'd back us in that, right? You'd back us in that. And I mean, one of Iran or Japan will be out at the quarterfinal stages as well. So I don't know. I'm scared because I don't want this tournament to go to waste, and I don't want us to play poorly. And I hate seeing us play poorly. But it was bad. It was really bad against Indonesia. No one could do anything. Like I was watching that game and I was like, fuck, Riley McGree can't make a pass. And Riley McGree's really good at football. What hope do any of our slightly average players have? Like, Jackson Irvine has been one of the most consistent Socceroos players I've seen in a long time, and he's been average this tournament. Average. Arnie's putting his faith in Gethin Jones for whatever reason, I don't know. Aziz Beige continues to play at left back when you've got Geordie Boss, who's 10 times the player, and he's playing left wing. Goodwin not starting. Like, I don't know. And you can say, and Arnie came out post game and was like, he doesn't think Geordie Boss and Craig Goodwin can play in the same team. Because they're both left-footed, and because they both like to occupy the same spaces. Okay. Are you that stubborn, tactically? Or maybe worse, are you just not up to it tactically? To develop a game plan where you can fit both Geordie Boss and Craig Goodwin in. It's called overloads. Geordie Boss has a right foot. Like, Geordie Boss probably has a better right foot than Craig Goodwin. So invert him a little bit, or create overloads, or play Goodwin on the right, or play Goodwin centrally, or do something that puts our best players on the pitch, because I'm fucking sick and tired of I don't want to get into a rant, but I'm sick and tired of players playing because of reputation. Aziz Beige is one of them. He should not be playing. He should not be playing. I like Aziz. I don't. I do, but I don't. He's a Melbourne City player. He's played for Victory. I remember the 2010 Grand Final. Right? He's been good for us. He's been a great Socceroos player. When he made that run against Argentina in the World Cup, I nearly exploded. But he shouldn't be playing, right? Like, just it's an example of a big problem that's in Australian football at the moment. The semi-finals on Sunday night, I think Saturday night, or the quarters. I'm either going to sit here next week and be very, very cross at Graham Arnold, or I'm going to sit here and be very, very happy the fact that we're into a semi-final of a major competition.